Ain't got nothing on me, these people do not faze me. Enjoying every moment, ain't worried about who's in it. I'm growing every day, everything's gonna be okay. As long as I got my shit together, they gon' see me doing better. Ain't got nothing on me, these people do not faze me. Enjoying every moment.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is HAFIZA binti JAMAL NASIR, and I will present about the abstract on our case study. In our study, we examine the effect of the investment deposit on shareholder profitability in Malaysia Islamic Bank, going into elaborate world of the Islamic Bank. Our analysis show the effects of the specific and joint investment deposit different a great deal from those of the typical term deposit and deposit with a notice, using operational profit as a control variable. Our analysis of the 2013 until 2022 financial report show an interesting narrative about the change in earning per share EPS for Islamic Bank, which was explained by the adjuster R2. The study highlights the significance of the management processes in collecting speculative capital to boost and improve the shareholder profitability. Next, the finding from our study highlight its important aspect of the Islamic banking and advanced management on applying strategy plan and standard operating procedure. The term earning per share Islamic bank and investment deposit are more than just slogan. They stand for the fundamental of the financial environment in which careful planning lead to the long-term profitability and growth.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Illiya Natasya binti KHAIR, and I will present the research objective and hypothesis. There are 4 objectives of the research. First, to examine the financial standing of 5 chosen Islamic banks such as Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad, Bank MOHAMED, Public Islamic Bank, CIMB Islamic Bank, and AFI Islamic Bank over a certain time period. Second, to determine the relationship between the dependent variable DV and the independent variable IV. Thirdly, to evaluate the overall financial health of Islamic Bank by analyzing their main financial indicators and ratios. And the last one is to investigate the impact of Islamic banking principles on the financial performance of selected Islamic bank in comparison to conventional counterparts.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AINUN binti ZABIDI. In today's presentation, I will be present about research question and sample. Next, we move into the research question. The first question is, how do investment deposit impact earning per share among Islamic banks and what factors contribute to any observed difference? The second one is, what are the most effective methods for Islamic banks to manage and employ their investment deposit in order to maximize earning per share for shareholders? The third one is, how can policymakers and regulators support the growth and development of Islamic finance activities in countries where legal and tax frameworks may not be fully aligned with Islamic principles, and what impact might this have on the competitiveness of Islamic banks?
Next, we move to the hypothesis. The table shows the dependent variable and independent variable. Based on ANOVA in our research, for the HO, IV1 equal to IV2 equal to IV3 and equal to DV. For the H1, not equal. H1 is the dependent variable DV and independent variable IV has a positive relationship, while H1 is the dependent variable DV and independent variable IV has a negative relationship. The next part is theoretical framework. The figure 4.1 shows the dependent variable of this research is earning per share EPS, and it is measured by net income divided by weighted average number of shares outstanding of 5 chosen Islamic banks over a specific period. The independent variable of this research are specific investment deposit, joint investment deposit, and operating profit. The specific investment deposit IV1 has positive relationship towards earning per share. Furthermore, the joint investment deposit IV2 also has positive relationship towards earning per share. And the last one is the operating profit IV3 has positive relationship towards earning per share. The article How Investment Deposits at Islamic and Conventional Bank Affect Earning per Shares provide a theoretical framework that compresses the effect of using investment deposits in Islamic and conventional banks on the profitability of shareholders as measured by earning per share. Looking at how Islamic and conventional bank handle investment deposit differently and how it affects shareholder earning is the main emphasis of this research.
Next, we move into the sample. The study variables were obtained through the collection of fundamental data from the annual financial reports of the selected banks within the study sample, spanning the years 2013 to 2022. Additionally, the research group obtained information from books, peer study, periodicals, and specialized database relevant to the study subject.
Assalamualaikum. I'm HERNI Natasya binti Muhammad DOMI. So today I will let you guys know about descriptive statistics. For descriptive statistics, we use a summary of a sample set of data to look at the whole sets. These sets of data includes things like means, standard error, median, mode, standard deviation, and many more. This information helps us figure out the coefficient of variation that called CV. The formula for this is already in the descriptive statistic. All we have to do is type the information into the CV formula. Okay, let's move on to regression analysis. Regression analysis was used to determine if the result is not to reject or to reject the null hypothesis. We found that our multiple R in the regression statistic is positive correlation, indicating that the value is positive. This was the case in this instance. We also found that the loan loss provision to assets LLTPA is HO, indicating that the A value is greater than the P value. F statistic and P value are separate in this technique. In the P value approach, F statistic is 6.749 and P value is 0.00023526. This number is below 2.25, the A value. We reject the null hypothesis and assume that the means of the four variables are different. In the critical value approach, F statistic is 0.00023526 and critical value is 2.656765651. Both values matters. We reject the null hypothesis since the statistic is below the threshold F value. Since both the critical value and P value reject the null hypothesis, we reject it for both ways. The coefficient of variation, CV, compares data variability to its means, usually used to assess investment risk or variability or compare data. Formula for coefficient of variation is like this. Okay. With similar means but differing standard deviations, the dataset with the larger standard deviation will have a higher coefficient of variation, indicating more relative variability. Finance, economics, biology, and others fields assess data set risk and variability using the coefficient of variation. The standardized measure is independent of data quantity, making it useful for monitoring certain variability. Next one is the p-value. P-value represents the likelihood of getting outcomes observed or more extreme than those observed. This probability assumes the null hypothesis is true. Put another way, the strength of the evidence against the null hypothesis is assessed. The null hypothesis is rejected because a low p-value suggests that the observed outcome are unlikely to be random. The last one is correlation. Excel as correl function calculates the correlation coefficient between two data sets for correlation analysis. This function analyzes correlations. One may assess the degree and direction of the linear connection between two variables using the correlation coefficients. Corel is a useful statistical tool in Excel for identifying variable relationships. Excel statistical features include this. That's all from me. Thank you.
So, for the conclusion, earning per share (EPS) is a financial indicator that indicates how much of company profit is distributed to each outstanding share of ordinary stock. Investment deposit at Malaysian Islamic Bank, such as Public Bank, Bank Muamalat, CIMB Islamic Bank and more, can impact the EPS. Based on the factors such as their investment policy and financial performance, highest earning could result from increased the revenue from the investment deposit, while large return could positively influence the EPS. Economic and market conditions can also affect the investment portfolio performance. Adherence to Islamic banking regulation can also impact the investment types and earning.